Let's make Ful Medames, a Middle Eastern breakfast dish. Okay, so put about 2 tablespoons of oil into your pan. And to that, you're going to add finely chopped garlic, 1 red chilli, and a good handful of spring onion. I would say about 2 or 3 spring onions. And if they're large ones, go for 2, 3 anyway. Give that a sizzle into the oil until it all smells lovely and that raw taste of the garlic goes away. Now add in 1 ripe vine chopped tomato. And then give that a mix into all of the aromatics. Looking good. You're going to let this sizzle. What you want is for the tomato to start to break down so it becomes a bit more of a sauce and less chunky. Then you're going to add in your fava beans. And I have got in here 3 cans of rinsed fava beans. Just fold the mixture into the mix of what else is already in the pan. And now you can add your seasonings. 2 teaspoons of salt, 3/4 teaspoon black pepper, 1 teaspoon of spicy Ful Biber, and 2 heaped teaspoons of cumin. Just give that all a good mix. You want all those flavours to just harmonise and start to get to know one another. And now for the juice of half a lemon. This dish is so quick. Finish it off with some chopped parsley. Give that all a nice little stir. Don't worry if the beans start to mash because it actually adds to the flavour. You're going to serve that up. Look at that, steaming hot. Serve it up into your bowl, ready to devour. And you're going to finish this off with a good drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. Now in the cooking, I also use extra virgin olive oil. The flavour it gives is so lovely. Now after making these beans, I realised I had no flatbread. So here we go for my very quick flatbread. 1 cup of Greek yoghurt. You're just going to mix that Greek yoghurt until it's all soft. You just want to take out all the lumps and just make it so it's nice and smooth. And to that, we're going to add 1 cup of plain flour. So just put that in, and then you're going to mix that plain flour into the yoghurt. I also have half a cup set aside because I think I am going to need it. So get it, knead it, bread dough. Sorry, that was such a bad pun. You want to then, well, I've just added in some oregano. You can zhuzh it up with some flavour. You can add in there some paprika. I also did add a pinch of salt, which you didn't see, but I went in with a good 3 heaped kind of pinches of oregano. Obviously mix that all in, and the dough was quite wet. So at this point I have started to add in the half a cup of the remaining flour, but not all in one go. So I must have used about 3/4 of that half cup, and the rest of the flour I did put onto the surface. So when the dough is less sticky and kind of coming together, you can put it out into the surface. You can start to knead it. Unlike bread, you're not going to knead this, for very, very long. You just want it to start to come together and until the dough is like not wet. So you can use the flour on the surface. If the dough is a bit sticky or a bit wet, just use that remaining flour on the surface to kind of get it so that it's just soft. You want a soft, pliable dough, but not a wet, sticky one. So here we go. After all the kneading is done, just roll it into a little ball. I'm going to do a little spring test in a bit, just to make sure that it bounces back. You can't see it properly there, but it was actually bouncing back. So now this is going to yield 6 flatbreads. If you want 12, just double the mixture. So I'm going to cut this now evenly into 6 pieces. There we go. And with each piece, we're just going to roll that into a little ball. Just like so. I forgot to mention, make sure your surfaces are super clean before you add that flour. And then once you're done with this, you're going to want to wipe down those surfaces all over again, and I'll explain why. So on the surface now, all my 6 little balls are rolled out, and I've kept them on baking paper. Now I actually did put some olive oil onto the baking paper, and I rubbed the little ball onto the olive oil. So now I'm just rolling that out. It doesn't have to be perfect. My rolling skills aren't fabulous, but you just kind of want, I would say, like a small plate size. Once they're done, you can put them onto the baking paper so they don't stick. And actually, it's good if you just put some olive oil onto the surface. Here we go, 6 flatbreads done. Now, here's my tava, so like a flat frying pan if you like. And I brought it up to heat. It was on a medium-high heat. You do want it quite hot, but not like super piping hot. But you don't want it low either, otherwise you won't get those little bubbles on the flatbread. So when you see that lovely golden colour underneath, just give it a flip. You want to cook it on the other side. These take about, I would say 20 to 30 seconds on each side. Obviously put your flatbread. I've put some butter on it and I'm going to cover it with a cloth just so it stays warm. And there we go, all 6 done. Look at them, they're looking good. Look at that, nice and bendy. Oh, and there's a half which I did kind of eat. So here we go, homemade flatbread and Ful Medames.